Superboy, number 11, written by Scott Lobdell, art by R.B. Silva. Last issue was, once again, like a two-parter. They were on an island, and then it went to Teen Titans, and genuinely, it doesn't matter to this at all. So this issue picks up with Superboy hanging out in his new swanky-ass apartment with Bunker, and apparently he just talked to some, like, rich millionaire lady who uses this as a storage unit for all of her stuff, and so it's just loaded up with like artwork and stuff like that. And Bunker is super impressed, and Superboy's using his telekinetic powers to just swirl around a couple $100 bills. And Bunker's like, "Why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Well, I gotta do something with the money." And then he takes him to this little crawl space room where inside is this massive, like, warehouse-sized room filled with cash. And Superboy's like, "I borrowed it." And Bunker's like, you borrowed it? And he's like, "Yeah, I figured I needed money in order to do things, so I took it from some banks. Don't worry, I'll give it back." And Bunker's like, "Dude, you're going to go to jail, man. We're supposed to be heroes. What in the heck?" So Bunker's just trying to clear his head. He's like, "Maybe we should get out of here because I feel like the feds are going to be knocking down our door any second." So they go out for a walk, and they're talking about like, "Hey, Superboy, you don't really have any real experiences, do you? Everything you know you've just like read about. Maybe we should get you some experiences." So they're talking about like what the S symbol means and like how there's someone out there who uses that symbol, and Bunker specifically says, "Now I think, and this is an unpopular opinion, that Superman's the greatest hero of them all." And I have to counter with, "That's an unpopular opinion?" Okay, so they stop by a tattoo shop, and Bunker's like, "Oh, I'll show you all the cool things you can do." And we see he got a tattoo of a purple brick on his like lower ribs. And then Superboy decides to get the Superman S tattooed onto his bicep. So that's there now. Anyway, they're leaving the tattoo shop, and a giant robot is attacking the city. And so Superboy and Bunker get in their costumes and head over to fight it. And it turns out that this robot, and I had to actually go back and double check this, was the robot who popped up in like issue 3 or 4 of Teen Titans that had the ability to just absorb a bunch of stuff and then make people forget about him. Because he made Tim Drake just completely forget about him. And his name is Demetrius, I think. Something like that. So, this makes that entire thing seem completely pointless. So he's huge. He's like almost like Godzilla size, pretty much. He's just picking up cars and like, "I must absorb more and more." And Superboy's like, "Hey, how about you don't?" And he's like, "I'm going to keep doing it anyway." And he's like, "All right, well, punchy time." So he punches Demetrius down, and then all the pieces start reassembling themselves, even bigger now that there's some cars that he absorbed as well. And then he's like, "Oh, don't you understand? It is my right to absorb them into my collective." And then Superboy is almost absorbed by Demetrius, but he uses his telekinetic powers to basically rip everything off of his core, like, person underneath. And then we see Demetrius is just this weird, like, half robot man. And they do the whole goddamn thing of, like, "You don't understand what it's like, Superboy, to be an outsider, to not be understood." To which Superboy's like, "I think I do understand." So anyway, they almost have a connection, and like Demetrius reaches out, touches Superboy, and then tries to absorb him again. To which Superboy then just punches him really hard and theoretically shatters him to a whole bunch of pieces. And Bunker's like, "Dude, what if he just reassembles himself again?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, I wasn't thinking about that. Anyway, cops are showing up, we should go." And then they have a laugh that this is what hero work is. So in the Teen Titans story, he was just able to make Tim Drake forget about him just because that was a thing. He was just, "Oh, I'm going to remove this from your memories." And Tim's like, "You can do that?" And Demetrius says, "Sure." And then they never got back to him. And now he pops up here and he doesn't have those mental powers. And he just is a big guy who absorbs stuff, which honest to God makes me think that first Teen Titans appearance, he was like starting to write that character and was like, "Wait, I think I could have a moment with Superboy later. So I'm just going to like make it so that nobody even knows this guy is here, even after I already started writing him. And I'm like, no, Scott, stop it. Okay, overall, on this sense of this issue, what gets established? Superboy has a tattoo now of the Superman crest, and he has a swanky ass apartment. And Tim did offer to let Superboy stay in the Teen Titans, I don't know, penthouse. But he was like, nah, I still feel like I'm still earning your guys' trust, and that would just be weird. So, yeah, there's that. Overall, completely missable issue. There's nothing. Like, the only thing you're getting from it is if you read Teen Titans and were like, hey, whatever happened to that mind-controlling robot guy? Turns out, not much of anything. And they are still leaving the door open for him to show up again. So overall, I'm going to give this one I give it a 5.5. It's not good. It's there. It's not offensive, but it's not good. So take of that what you will. I don't know.